Avery, what are your spiritual gifts?
Prophet, server, and microservice.
So prophet, server, and encourager?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, since you are part of the body and are called to use these, how do you think you could use your gifts to help build up the church?
Well, I would use prophet to share the word of God message.
Okay.
And then for church, I would encourage people to go to church and read the Bible and to share the word to others, like I would. And for the church,
Server.
I would serve the church for
Server is an usher.
yeah, after like Bible study or other places like ministry.
Yeah. Like in the Rock, the youth group.
Yeah.
Good.
Mhm.
All right, Connor. What are your spiritual gifts?
Leader, encourager, and giver.
All right. Leader, encourager, and giver. So, since you are now part of the body and you are called to use these, how do you think you could use your gifts to help build up the church?
For the leader role in the church, I think I would work really well in a small group ministry. I think I'd be really good as a coach of sports ministries because I play sports and any type of leadership or oversight role. And then for my encourager gift, I think that, as I said before, like a small group leader, um, where encouraging could be used or needed, or I think table facilitator. I think I could do really well in that as well. And for my final gift for the giver, I think that again, small group leader has kind of been a trend through all three, so I think that would work for all of them. And I think any serving opportunity that I could get into or financial counseling ministry team would be probably the best fit for me.
All right, Declan. What are your spiritual gifts? Prophet, teacher, prophet, teacher, and encourager. Since you are part of the body and you are called to use these gifts, how do you think you use them to help build up the church?
I would use my first gift, prophet, as a small group leader.
Okay. And anything else? No? Okay. How would you use your second gift of teacher?
I would use teacher as like Bible study leader.
Okay. Nice. And number 3 is encourager. How would you use that gift?
I would use encourager as a like a student minister.
Okay. You student minister like counseling, independent counseling. Okay. All right, Nick. What are your spiritual gifts?
Mercy, server, and teacher.
Mercy, server, and teacher. Okay. Since you are part of the body and you are called to use these, how do you think you could use your gifts to help build up the church, starting with Mercy?
I could help. I could help do mission trips and help just be kind to the people around the church and around, not even just in the church, but other places. And I could help with smaller groups like VBS and be kind to the kids that I'm helping.
Good. All right. What about number 2, server?
I could help with special events. I could be a leader there and make sure that all the kids are doing what they need to and not breaking anything, or just really help around the church do services and help possibly with music.
Mm-hmm. Nice. All right. What about number 3, teacher? How would you use that gift?
I could help maybe watch out and try and set a good role model for the younger kids, and just make sure that some of the older kids aren't setting that example.
Sky, first question for your confirmation review for your for the day is, what are your spiritual gifts? And since you are part of the body and you are called to use these gifts, how do you think you could use your gifts to help build up the church? So, first question, what are your spiritual gifts?
Okay, leader, encourager, and server.
Leader, encourager, and server. So how do you intend to use the encourager to serve the church?
So it says it's verbally encouraging, and so you can encourage others to believe more in God, and so people who want to believe in God will come to your church more because they want to have someone who makes them more believe in God.
All right.
Closer to God.
And gift number 2, leadership. How would you use leadership to build and grow the church?
So leadership, they're looking for someone to lead them towards God more.
Mhm.
So if you start leading them towards God more, you get more people because they're like, oh, this person knows what they're talking about. This person knows what they're doing, so I want to go with them because they know what they're doing. They're confident about themselves.
Okay. And lastly, your other spiritual gift was server. How do you intend to be a server in the church?
Because I'm usually pretty friendly. So if you're friendly, then you get more people because they just want someone to be friends with them as well as coming to church and make them happy, like close to God. They want to be able to have a friendly environment, not just have like that really closed off environment.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Walker. Question number 1 for your confirmation review is, what are your spiritual gifts?
Teacher, encourager, prophet.
All right, teacher, encourager, prophet. So since you are a part of the body and you are called to use these, how do you think you could use your gifts to help build up the church, starting with teacher?
I would become a small group leader.
Okay. And number 2, encourager.
Stephen leader.
You want to be a Stephen leader?
Mhm.
Okay. Following your family's footsteps.
Yes.
And number 3, prophet. How would you use prophet? How would you use your gift as prophet to help build up the church?
To become any type of lay counselor or mentor.
Okay. Good, thank you.
Yep.
All right, Avery. Question number 2. Confirmation is a great way to grow and learn about Jesus and the faith he offers. However, it is now ended. There are no longer requirements to worship, grow, serve, or go. However, as a disciple, God calls us to do these things. How do you intend on still being an active disciple in each area of worship, grow, serve, and go? Starting with worship. What do you think?
What's up when I was still go to church?
So you still plan to go to church?
Yeah.
Even after, now that you're confirmed?
For sure.
Okay. And how about grow?
For grow, I would like to go to a double block or a couple of fast or those stuff.
What about individual Bible studies?
Yeah.
And like
The
going
Rock.
to the Rock?
Yeah.
Going to YouTube? Okay. What about serving the church?
I would like to be serving the church like
Usher?
I'm sorry. Maybe doing that and doing the youth groups and helping about homeless ministry and children ministry.
Children's ministry, nice. Okay. And then, how do you plan to be an active disciple in going? So, like, not just worship, not just serving at the church, but serving outside of the church.
I've seen plenty of places to go. Like maybe, like I said earlier, the homeless ministry. It's not just here, but outside of this. And I would like to.
Are you interested in going on mission trips, like
Yeah.
overseas or with the
I would love to.
Good. All right. Connor, confirmation question number 2. Confirmation is a great way to grow and learn about Jesus and the faith he offers. However, it is now ended. There are no longer requirements to worship, grow, serve, or go. However, as a disciple, God calls us to do these things. How do you intend on still being an active disciple in these areas of worship, grow, serve, and go? Let's start with worship.
With worship, I think it would be a great idea to get in the habit of going to church every Sunday and just try to help out and come to church whenever possible.
Good to go. What about grow?
For grow, I think it would be really good to be doing the rock whenever I can, to come and congregate with the other youth group students, and just to kind of come in to small group study whenever possible.
Nice. What about in the area of serve?
Of serve, I think I would like to be doing either doing the usher, the greeter. I think for serve that would be a great part for me.
And in the area of go, how do you feel about doing missions both locally and abroad?
I feel like that would be good to do both, like for the block parties at Foothills Elementary that we did last year, and also going on the mission trip this year or next year or whenever possible.
Sounds good, thank you. All right, Declan, question number 2. Confirmation is a great way to grow and learn about Jesus and the faith he offers. However, it is now ended. There are no longer requirements to worship, grow, serve, or go. But as a disciple, God calls us to do these things. How do you intend on still being an active disciple in each area? Let's start with worship. How do you intend to still be an active disciple in the area of worship?
I would keep going to church and keep attending like the rock until I am out of that section, but I will keep going to.
Okay. How do you intend to be an active disciple in the area of growing? So what does that look like? It looks like, do you intend to continue to read your Bible? Do you intend to continue to go to small groups, worship Bible studies? Do you intend to continue to be a student of the Word?
I would continue. I would start going to small groups. Continue reading.
Do you intend to still be a student of the Word?
Yes.
All right. What about serve? How do you intend to be an active disciple in serving the church?
I would usher and do AV.
Okay. And lastly, how do you intend to be an active disciple in the area of going, like missions?
I would I would go to missions like California and like places we go, like block parties and food banks.
You have interest in local missions and regional missions and international missions, and you would actively want to pursue and be a part of that. Cool. All right. Question number 2. Confirmation is a great way to grow and learn about Jesus and the faith he offers. However, it has now ended. There are no longer requirements to worship, grow, serve, or go. However, as disciples, God calls us to do these things. How do you intend on still being an active disciple in each area?
For worshiping, I intend to come to the services, however that may be, and pay attention to the services and make sure that I'm putting my all into the service at that time.
And grow, that means how do you intend to continue to grow in the faith?
I intend to still read the Bible, make sure that I'm always thinking about God and what I do.
And serve, how do you intend to serve the church?
I intend to serve the church by helping with special events like foodies, Oktoberfest, stuff like that.
And as far as go, how do you intend to bring the gospel to people outside of the church?
I intend just to spread the word, say, hey, if you're struggling, you can always trust in God. He'll be there for you.
And would you openly invite people to your youth groups at Concordia
Yes.
and inviting them to church
Yes.
and helping out with, like, do you have any desire to do mission trips?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Scott, here's question number 2. Confirmation is a great way to grow and learn about Jesus and the faith he offers. However, it has ended now, so there is no longer requirements to worship, grow, serve, or go. However, as disciples, God tells us to do these things. How do you intend on still being an active disciple in each area?
So worship, I'm going to still come to church. And grow, I'm going to be like reading the Bible and going to probably listen to my grandpa because he tells us stories and so does my grandma. And serve, I'm probably going to like help around the church, help with like usher maybe.
What was a recent experience you had? I'm just kidding. Don't say it. What else?
Seriously?
Don't say it.
Oh,
And
okay.
then go to go.
I'm good to go. So that's what I'm saying.
And how are you going to go?
I'm going to like help around my neighborhood probably because most of the people I know are Christian. So
Are not or are?
are.
Okay.
Around my neighborhood are.
Nice.
School's not.
All right, Walker, your next question. Confirmation is a great way to grow and learn about Jesus and the faith that he offers. However, it has ended now. There are no longer requirements to worship, grow, serve, or go. However, as disciples, God calls us to do these things. How do you intend on still being an active disciple in each area of worship, grow, serve, and go? Let's start with worship. How do you intend to be an active disciple in the area of worship?
To keep on going to church every Sunday.
Okay. What about in the area of grow?
To continue reading the Bible and learn more about Jesus and his Father God.
And what about in the area of serve? So, like, how do you intend to like serve around the church or be a part of what's going on?
To like volunteer as an usher.
Okay. And then in the area of go, so like doing local missions or international missions, are you interested in any of those?
Like maybe help out when you guys do the cereal box stuff for Christmas.
So like the not the Christmas tree of sharing, the Samaritan's Purse. Why can't I think of the name of it? I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. All right, Avery. Do you intend to continue in your faith and follow Jesus as part of the church and be willing to suffer all, even death, rather than fall away from it? Yes, no, and why?
Yes, because God has commanded me to, and his son died on the cross for us, and I would like to go to heaven someday. And I would like that.
Do you believe that you have to earn your way to heaven, or that God's grace is what is sufficient for us?
God's grace.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, Connor, last question. Do you intend to continue in your faith and follow Jesus as part of the church and be willing to suffer all, even death, rather than fall away from it? Yes, no, and why?
Yes, I want to continue my faith because Jesus paid the ultimate price of dying for all of our sins, the brutal death on the cross, and I think that would only be fair and just for me to even be willing to die than give it away, because it was such a privilege for Jesus to have done what he did. And so, yeah, I would be willing to suffer even death rather than fall away.
All right, Declan, last question. Do you intend to continue in your faith and follow Jesus as part of the church and be willing to suffer all, even death, rather than fall away from it? Yes, no, yes or no, and why?
Yes, because I believe Jesus is Lord and Savior, and I believe that he died for us, and that he loves each and every one of us.
And so you intend to continue in your journey after this confirmation and continue in your walk to get to know him and grow in your faith.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, last question. Do you intend to continue in your faith and follow Jesus as part of the church and be willing to suffer all, even death, rather than fall away from it? Yes, no, yes or no, and why?
I do intend to continue my faith and be willing to keep growing and make sure that I would stay with the church because I know that God will always be there for me, and if I need help I can just ask him for help.
All right, Sky, last question. Do you intend to continue in your faith and follow Jesus as part of the church and be willing to suffer all, even death, rather than fall away from it? What is your response? Yes or no, and why?
Yes. Yes, because it's what I believe in, and I don't fall away usually from what I believe in, because once I get my mindset on something, I always do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd even rather die than fall away from it, because he died for us, and so the least we could do is also follow in his footsteps and help other people, and even be willing to die to go to heaven.
Sounds good. All right. Okay, Walker, last question. Do you intend to continue in your faith and follow Jesus as part of the church and be willing to suffer all, even death, rather than fall away from it? Yes or no, and why?
Yes, I will, because Jesus, he has died for our sins, something that we should have done. He had been sinless, he's done nothing. Or shoot.
No, you said that. He is sinless. He's done nothing.
Yeah. Okay, he's done nothing that could be sinful. We should have done that. We owe him everything, including I would rather die than fall away from him.
Nice. All right. Thank you, sir.